Minutes after 10. Today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Friday, the 20th of February, 2026. You're tuned into Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. This is Radio Doctor, your free health consultation program where real doctors advise real people. Radio Doctor is broadcast Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. Basically, the doctors that come on and say, this was going on with you, this is not what's going on with you. My name is Ubangal, and Radio Doctor this morning is Dr. Abiola Ajayi, the MD CEO of ROA Specialist Hospital. Good morning, Dr. Abiola. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. And you?
I'm good. Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent.
No, actually, I'm not good. I'm tired. I realized
Yeah,
I
I
was
can
coming
tell.
down. Yeah, I realized I was coming down with a headache, and I'm not sure why. But yeah, today, maybe today is my off day. I don't know.
Check, check,
But yeah.
check your blood pressure. Check your blood pressure.
Actually, I haven't checked my blood pressure since the last time that we talked. I'll check. I'll check it. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about nutrition and exercise for a healthier heart. That's what we're going to be talking about this morning. We are live on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917.com. The phone lines will be open shortly, but then, you know what, let's just do, you can text us because we know that you listen. It's not that you don't listen, we know that you listen. Anyway, let's get into it this morning. Dr. Bella, what does it mean to truly have a healthy heart? And how can women especially know if their heart, health-wise, is at risk?
So having a healthy heart is, the common misconception is that if I don't have any symptoms, maybe I'm not having any chest pain or anything like that, I'm healthy. But really having a healthy heart is defined by risk factors and by a few things. So, a heart that pumps efficiently, meaning that it doesn't leave water behind. Sometimes when you see some older people, they have heart failure, you see their legs start to swell. That's because your heart is not pumping efficiently. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure is part of a healthy heart.
Okay.
Maintaining normal blood sugar, normal cholesterol levels, those all go into it. Um, some important statistics, because this is an extremely this topic affects many more people than we think.
Mhm.
One in every three female deaths worldwide is due to heart disease. It's the number one killer of women. So this is something that if it doesn't affect you, it definitely affects somebody that you know. In Nigeria, about 35% of women aged 20 and above have some form of heart disease, and the majority of them don't know. So it's not a disease of old people. It's not a disease only for men. Even it's affecting everyone. And we'll talk more about it as we go on.
Okay. All right. So more people than we know are very much affected by this. Many people think that heart disease is only for men. Actually, to be fair, when I hear about heart disease, it's only men I think about. Let me be honest. But how significant, or how, like you said earlier, like what's the ratio even for women? Because typically when you hear, if you hear, it's rare. I think it's rare to hear that a woman has heart disease, but I stand to be corrected because you're the doctor and you have more women. You see a mixed group of people. So yeah, how significant is heart disease, especially among women in Nigeria?
It's extremely significant. In Nigeria, heart disease kills more women than all cancers combined,
Hmm.
right? And it's accounts for at least 12 to 15% of all deaths, and it's in women, and it's rising every day. It's rising because our rates of high blood pressure are going up. And I'm talking about, let's just talk about women for now. Rates of high blood pressure, rates of obesity, rates of diabetes, and women are leading more and more sedentary lifestyles. We've talked about that before. That a sedentary lifestyle, meaning a lifestyle where you don't have much physical activity, that's the new smoking. where we used to look at, smoking as a real cause of death and cancer and things like that. Sedentary lifestyle has replaced that in terms of a risk factor.
Mm.
So, what makes it worse in Nigeria is that a lot of women prioritize family health over their own and prioritize the man's health over their own. This is why we think of it as a man's disease. You in clinical practice, I see every day man and woman sometimes come in, and the woman has dragged her husband in because she knows that he has this problem or that problem and is begging him to get medical advice. I can see people, age 60, 70, even in their 50s do the same thing. How many times does the man stop and say, "Hey, while I'm here, can my wife run a checkup?" It almost never happens. It almost never happens. And I'm usually the one to suggest that, Mama, when we finish with Daddy, we're going to now come back to you. At least check your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your cholesterol. So it's besides that, routine screening is very uncommon. We don't charge for blood pressure. You don't know how many people walk into the hospital and just don't do it. So and then we have some cultural beliefs where women will just think that, oh, this feeling I'm having is normal tiredness, or this is normal and aging, and things like that. And really, those may be early warning signs.
Hmm.
So
Or maybe,
it's not just a man's disease.
oh, I'm tired. The children are stressing me.
Hmm.
Actually, I think for women, we pay, maybe if it's like an obvious illness that we pay, like breast checking for cancer and things like that, but that you're tired, or we never really say, oh, it might be my heart. Very true, Shao. Okay, so what are the warning signs that we can have beyond tiredness? Like, not just warning signs, overlooked warning signs that women, might have, that you're like you mentioned tiredness right now, but are there other ones?
So, and the thing about heart disease and in men and women, it can present differently. So in men, you often hear about the crushing chest pain, central chest pain, yeah, or sometimes they'll say they feel like somebody's sitting on their chest, or
Mhm.
heaviness. But women may have a lot more subtle symptoms. Some of them, if you're unusually tired, especially after minimal activity, that could be
Mhm.
a warning sign. Shortness of breath, of course, chest pain with or without pain that moves to the jaw, the arm, or the shoulder, especially on the left side, that can be worrisome. Dizziness, sweating when you're not supposed to be sweating, and even sleep disturbances. You're having difficulty sleeping can either lead to heart disease or could be a sign of heart disease. And what we see in Nigeria, many women attribute this to like malaria, or they'll say, "Oh, my hormones are changing," or "I'm just stressed out." But these are early warning signs, could be early warning signs of heart disease. And I like to say this all the time: any delay in seeking care usually leads to worse outcomes. So what worse outcomes for you, more difficult for your medical professional to help, and it's
Right.
going to be usually more expensive because you're trying to treat something that's gone really far.
Hmm. Okay. So let's talk about what we eat and how that affects our hearts and blood vessels. Of course, if you've been listening to us on Radio Doctor, you already know what Dr. Abiola is going to say in terms of the things that we eat, the fried things that you eat, the oily stuff that you eat, everything. But yeah, I'm going to allow Dr. Abiola keep on saying it again. Over to you,
I,
doctor.
I won't get tired of saying it because it's so important, right? And
Mm.
we don't pay enough attention to it. Worldwide, 11 million deaths are attributed to poor diet, and most of it is from heart disease.
Mm.
So when you're talking about diet, we think about blood pressure, or diet, or things you eat, blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar control. And of course, if your blood pressure is high, you have a risk of stroke, heart attack, things like that. When your cholesterol is high, it can narrow your arteries, and guess what? Stroke, heart attack can follow. And if your blood sugar is not controlled, same thing, stroke, heart attack, kidney disease. And you can have poor blood sugar control without being truly diabetic, you know.
Mm,
So there's pre-diabetes, there's something called impaired glucose tolerance, and simple people simply just not even eating the right type of foods. You know, I always talk about processed foods, unnatural seed oils, those kind of things. All of this can contribute to narrowing of your blood vessels, can build up these things called fatty plaques in your blood vessels where they're now narrow.
mhm,
And before you start feeling, let's say you have blood vessels that are narrow for your heart, before you start feeling chest pain because of those narrow blood vessels, it's usually 90% occluded, meaning the blood vessel has closed up and only 10% um, still functioning before you now start feeling pain. So it's 50% blocked, you may not feel anything. 60, you know, we always talk about high blood pressure and heart disease. These can also be silent killers, meaning while you have significant disease, you're not feeling any symptoms at all.
mhm.
So yeah, we were talking about symptoms, tiredness, chest pain, neck pain, but you absolutely do not have to have those symptoms for for you to have heart disease that's significant. One of the things I'll talk about quickly in diet is something that we ignore in Nigeria, seasoning cubes. I won't mention the company that makes them, but these little cubes that we use for, almost everything. They they're tied to salt. You know, they have a lot of salt in them. They have a lot of other things in them. Our high intake of fried foods, right? Fried foods taste very good, right? Everything tastes better fried. I used
Yes.
to I used to have a friend that ate fried bananas. I didn't know that.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
that's
and he loved he
diabolical,
he
please.
he absolutely loved fried bananas. I've seen fried everything, but high intake of fried foods. On top of that, low intake of fruits and vegetables both contribute to heart disease. And you know my number one, heavy consumption of refined carbohydrates. So you knew I was coming to the carbohydrates, right? So white rice, white bread, um, sugars, starches, all of those definitely contribute to not only a poor diet, but also to heart disease. How are you doing, by the way, with white rice and bread?
Okay. Me, I think I'm actually doing well, to be honest. Have I been eating rice? Have I eaten rice this week? Today is what? Today's Friday. No, I haven't. Huh. No, I did. No, I did. I had rice at the office on Monday. But what happened? We had general meeting on Monday. But what had happened was I brought salad to the office because I knew we were going to
Mm,
eat. So I had my rice with some salad and like what lettuce, cucumbers. What was the last one? Carrots. Yes. So I had mine and I made sure that it was boiled. So I had changed my order. Typically, what happens? Thank you. Typically, what happens at our general meetings is that they order the same thing for everybody. But I told the lady ordering that I wanted a different one. So I made sure she had beans in it and boiled egg, and it was in smaller portions. Yeah. So that's what I did. On Tuesday, no, I didn't have rice. On Wednesday, though, I had bread. So I realized that the moment I do not meal prep, I'm in trouble. And I know I
mhm.
say this all the time on this show. Once I do not meal prep, I'm in trouble. Then I think I was feeling out of sorts. I'm also a comfort eater, so I was feeling really out of sorts. So I had bread, and when I had the bread, I asked myself deep questions. I said, this thing. I have buyer's. I had a very very severe case of buyer's remorse. I said, this thing that you have done now, are you happy with yourself? You had even if you had it with, let's say you had even done maybe a sandwich with, maybe you have fruits at home, you did not, you ate it and then you now drank the tea with it. I really had questions to ask myself, and I was not happy. So ever since then, I've been on the straight and narrow. Yesterday was even more I had with vegetable instead. So yeah, I've actually been on the straight and narrow instead. I've seen immense, even with the fact that I have done rubbish maybe twice. I've seen differences in my, what's it called? Okay, no, let me not use a scale because the scale is a scam. But I've seen differences in my body because I'm so hung up on the scale. that whenever
Hmm.
the scale doesn't move, I'm upset. But then I'm like, but you're seeing changes. Your dresses can fit better. You know, I was at my tailor's yesterday and I screamed. I screamed a big scream, like, oh my gosh, this dress is hanging on my body. Why? Because I remember giving her specific instructions. So yes, but I want the scale to move. So yeah, I think I just
An
need to be
important
more.
thing, an
Go ahead.
important thing to note there, because other listeners may be having that same issue. You're trying to eat healthy and you keep looking at the scale and the scale is not moving.
Oh, I'm addicted to my scale. I have to.
I have one right next to
I
me.
have a
I
digital
also,
one and an analog one. I am addicted.
yeah, but I try and encourage people, don't look merely at the scale. Like some of the things you said, how do your clothes fit? What's your waistline? Because at times,
Yeah,
if you're losing fat and gaining muscle, your weight may not change much. So if you're eating better and you're also exercising, there's a good chance you're going to
20
gain
days
muscle.
on, I've been exercising.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not
Really?
joking. Every day, even when I'm tired. Yesterday, I told I could only do 10 minutes. I was like, do you know what? I learned it from somebody. An incomplete session is better than no session at all. So sometimes when I'm even really tired, I'm like, yesterday was the list I did. So yeah, I was so proud of myself. 20 days on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
I
been
have a
doing that
gym
stuff.
under my house. Yesterday, I finished in the office. I finished around 9 p.m. I went, of course, I got to play with the kids for some time before they go to bed. So like 10:30, 11, I'm beat. I just went to the gym and just sat there, just sat on my workbench, played some
You were
music.
considering your choices.
Yes, I was considering my life choices. Like, why did I choose
Yes,
this life?
yes,
If I was a school teacher, I would have been done a long time ago.
yeah,
But
yeah.
as I sat there and listened to music, after a few minutes, I picked up one weight and picked up another weight, and then I got into my workout. So an incomplete session is better than no session.
Yeah,
You
I
you
learned
are
that this
correct.
week. So I was like, I'm just gonna do. So I did indoor workouts. I was just like, oh god, because sometimes you wear. Because yesterday morning I had worn my workout that I'll do in the morning, but I never go around to do it because I was so busy. So when I got back, I looked at it and said, wow, wow, wow. So you have to do something. So yeah. So I think that people a lot of times we overthink what workout should be like or what exercise should be like, as opposed to making it a lifestyle choice. Oh, I want to lose weight, as opposed to look. For me, I'm like, I want to be able to run after my children and play with them and not be panting. My daughter is always laughing at me if she said, "Mommy, let's run," and I'm like, like literally wheezing, and I'm not even an asthma patient, anything like that. So yeah, that, and then you look at your age and how many more years you still want to live healthy. You have to really consider, okay, how can I be healthy? And it's not complicated. Like you can walk in your compound, depending on how big your compound is. If it's not big, you can walk in your living room, you know
Mhm.
jump up and down. And how I know I'm doing well is that my kids, they really disturb me, like they hamper me. I'm not going to lie when I'm doing it, but it's fun. Oh, I'm exercising with mommy, right? As opposed
Exactly.
to, so they know, even the kids in the compound, when they see me outside, they're all coming to join, and I'm like, you people are going to disturb me, but okay, let's do it together. So I'm proud of myself. I'm really
I'm
hoping
proud
that I
of you.
reach the end of this month and be like, yeah, I did it, and then it can now be, what's the thing you said, 21 days I'll be, so tomorrow is my 21st day. So
Yes, yes, you remember.
yeah,
That's nice.
so
I'm proud. I'm proud of you too. Well done.
thank you, Dr. Bella. But speaking of, like, are there foods, and you talk about this all the time, our foods are so high in salt, oil, they are processed, we fry our food. Like, for someone who doesn't have an air fryer, or who the means to get an air fryer, or it's just like air fryer, like, are there alternatives? You still want the food to taste fried? Because really, fried food is top tier. Let's not lie. And it's like you want to eat plantain. Like I haven't had plantain in a long time. Instead, I'm eating boiled plantain, but I'm like, I really want to eat this fried plantain. Right? Is it good? Like, should I eat like three? Is that going to kill me if I eat like three of it? Do you understand? So, like, are there alternatives? Still speaking on the heart, like having a healthy heart. Are there alternatives for fried foods?
Yeah, I'll say it in order of let's say least beneficial to most beneficial.
Okay.
For example, now if you were just to replace your seed oil, meaning your aurora canola oil, corn oil, with something more healthy like coconut oil, butter, even.
What is
Um,
expensive?
is it
What is
is it is
expensive?
it is a little bit more expensive. And
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before. The reason why canola oil and corn oil, all those oils are so cheap. Do you know how they were, why they were even invented?
Yeah, I
Seed
think you
oils.
mentioned this. And something about the engine. Am I?
Yeah, during World War II, they ramped up production of bullets and machines and tanks and things like that. So all this machinery needed lubrication, right? And a cheap way to lubricate them. So they started pressing seed oils, the all of the oils that we typically use for frying. We started pressing those and using it as machinery lubricant. When the war ended and those factories are closed, you have all this excess oil. What do we do with it? We are going to turn it into something that people will consume. So they added chemicals to deodorize it, chemicals to make it look clear, all kinds of different chemicals to turn it into what it is now. But really, that is not meant for human consumption at any level. So if you could replace that, you're doing your heart a benefit. Those type of oils lead to weight gain, even because your body doesn't like it. You now have this kind of inflammatory reaction, and you can end up gaining weight. Also leads to excess of something called linoleic acid, which leads inflammation, so joint pain, back pain, knee pain, all that. So if you replace those oils, it's good. If you use a steel pan, like, or even a non-stick pan, and put there without oil, some of the natural oils, you can put chicken, right? Skin side down. I do this all the time. Skin side down on medium to low heat, and the natural fats and oils from the chicken will now come out. And I now use that to fry. I don't add any oil or add anything to it. I love using an air fryer, but if you can't afford one, these are some other options. And of course, boiling or grilling are also good options as well.
Okay.
I
Okay.
cook a lot. I cook a lot. I cook probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Hmm.
So I practice what I preach. Yeah, because I want to control what I'm eating. So it's easier for me to control. I just cook it myself.
Actually, very, very true. It's easier to control when you control whatever you're putting in your mouth if you're the one cooking it by yourself, because you're the one who knows what is at stake, really, as opposed to if you say, oh, let us do general cooking. Because if you're saying you want to start reducing salt or seasoning, your family hasn't gotten to that point either, and they're like, mommy, what is this, right? And then whoever's cooking for you at home, maybe you have a cook or a chef or a lead-in person, is also the same thing. God will help
Hmm.
us. God will help us. Okay. What
Amen.
about
Amen.
what about people? Look, I don't want to take fizzy drinks anymore. Okay, I haven't taken fizzy drink this month, so yes. But I don't want to take fizzy. People that they're like, look, they've been taking fizzy drinks, soda for years and years and years, and then you tell them that they should just stop like that. Their taste buds are already accustomed to sweetened things or sweet things. There are alternatives to sugary substances for people, or it's just, you know what, just go cold turkey.
So a little interesting fact about that. Your tongue has basic receptors. So or your tongue, we think it tastes like 1,000 different things. No, your tongue has a place for salt and place for sugar, place
Okay.
for sweet and a place for sour. That's it. So there's actually, this is now a $1 billion industry where food companies have investigated something called the bliss point, BLISS, the bliss point. The bliss point is where you, as a human being, your dopamine starts firing, your brain gets excited about how the food tastes. And they've found out that it's mixing sugars with fats and to a certain level, and that's how it's done. When a company has poor sales, they hired, I can't remember the doctor's name, but they hire this guy. He's a PhD. He will come in, analyze your food products, add sugar, add syrup, add these kind of things, and get to do some taste that bliss point. But it's almost always never healthier than when we started. They're the When I have a patient that's trying to quit sugary drinks and they're having difficulty with motivation, I usually tell them find a rusty nail. You know, we can look outside and find rusty nails anywhere. Take a bottle of your favorite sugary drink, especially the black one that's with a red label, right? Drop those nails inside and close it up. Leave it there for a day or two and come back and look at what those nails look like. They'll look brand new. The drink will have stripped all the rust off of it. Yeah, so I would challenge everybody to try this. When I don't know if you know, I'm also an engineer. So when I have a generator that's been sitting for a long time and the radiator is rusted and I want to clear it out, I'll just empty whatever fluid is in there, go and buy a bunch of that same drink and pour it in the radiator and close it. Come back the next day and the radiator will be clean. No more rust inside. So when you're looking at something, you're looking at something in your hand that can remove rust from a nail, and trying to put it into your body should hopefully give you pause. And I know some people drink 5 to 6 of those drinks a day. If you try and stop it immediately, yes, you're going to go through cravings. You may have headaches because of the lack of caffeine, all those kind of things. So I usually tell people reduce it stepwise. So go from 5 to 3 to 1, and then hopefully stop it. I used to drink 6 of those a day. I thought it was my treat. I'm working hard. Let me have one. Let me have one. And now I won't say I don't drink them, but in a month I may drink 3, not more than one in a week. And it's usually when I have a headache and I need some caffeine, and I can't brew tea or make coffee. But it's something that should be avoided at all costs. There's areas in Mexico and in different countries where the majority of the population drinks these sugary drinks, and they're all obese. They have like 80% obesity. They have heart disease. They have strokes, heart attack, everything. So there's really nothing good to say about those drinks.
I was watching this fitness girl that I bumped into on social media, and she had gone to America for, so she lives in Australia, and her husband and herself decided to go on a 3-week, vacation for themselves. They went to America, Mexico, and I think Canada was the last country. And she couldn't, every time, like I think the first place she went to was Baltimore, and she couldn't eat the food. She's a fitness person, and she's very, very big
Hmm.
on protein intake, healthy stuff, da 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 da. And I think the first thing she said was how Europe and Australia is heavily regulated when it comes to food and stuff like that. So I remember thinking, oh, it's just you because you're a fitness person. But her husband, who's not really, he's fit, but he's not like a fitness enthusiast, could not take the drinks. He's like, this is too sweet, or this doesn't taste right. And I was like, is that how bad the food is in America? That's why that's why if an American goes to Europe, they lose weight on time like this because, huh?
When my last trip to the States, I was supposed to be there for a month. After 2 weeks, I called my travel agent and said, "Get me out of here." I was,
Really?
yeah, and I'm basically from there. All my family is there. I left the kids with my sister, and I came back because
Why?
it was almost impossible to find food that I could eat with a good conscience. I would have the time before that, I went and I just ate everything and all that. When I came back, I had gained 30 pounds. 30 pounds. When I was walking up the stairs, my kids looked at me like, "Are you pregnant? Why is your belly sticking out like that?" And it took me a while to lose that. So now that I eat, a little bit, a lot more conscientiously, in the grocery stores in the States, 75 to 85% of the food are processed, and almost 80% of the food has seed oils. So these same seed oils that we talked about are industrial lubricants, and they need to find a way to like basically dispose of it in our bodies. They now use it as filler. So if you buy let's even use ice cream, you buy a thing of ice cream like this. Before it used to be cream, which is milk, right? Milk and culture and water.
Mm-hmm.
Now they will put like 30, 40% of that as canola oil. or soybean oil or something like the fillers. They're just fillers. And if you look at the packages of almost everything, you'll see one of these types of oils everywhere. And it's just, to me, it's disgusting because I know where it comes from, but it's hard to get away from. It's why you see the
Mm.
obesity epidemic there is rising. And you made a good point. You have somebody leave US and come to Nigeria, they're going to lose weight. Leave US, go to the UK, they're going to lose weight because they regulate, in the UK at least, or Europe, they regulate the food a lot. There's some things that you just cannot put in food. They are about, and right now they're going through, this is happening right now in Congress with, Robert Kennedy, the head of the food czar and everything. That they're almost, there's a few hundred chemicals that are banned in Europe that are allowed in US foods. And if you look at the list, a lot of them are known cancer causing compounds. Things like red number 40 and yellow, all these food dyes and other stuff are known to cause cancer, especially in like lab animals, and it's in the food supply. The same company is not allowed to sell that kind of stuff in UK. They have to change the formula. So even
Mm.
the minerals that you drink in the States are very different than the minerals you drink in Europe. The sugar content is different. And even in Mexico, sugar content is different. They use real sugar in Mexico. They use corn syrup in the States because it's cheaper and found
Oh
everywhere.
my.
So you have to read labels, pay attention. I was reduced to going to one of the fast food chains that has an all beef patty, and I would just tell them, let me have a two beef patties with lettuce as the buns because they don't eat the bread, and that's what I was eating almost every day. Just two pieces of meat with two pieces of lettuce, and until I had to get out. It's
Oh wow.
I pray these changes that I feel are coming. I pray they stick.
Mm. Okay, now we've talked about foods that are dangerous, but are there foods that help to lower blood pressure or cholesterol that basically aid, blood vessel, the supply of the blood to the hearts, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, the center around the nutrients. So you know, and when I'm coaching people, I'll usually give them a list of foods that have some of these key nutrients. For example, potassium. Potassium helps regulate your blood pressure because it helps balance sodium.
Where can we find
And
potassium?
you can potassium you can find in bananas.
Okay.
There's one milli equivalent of potassium in every inch of a banana. I don't know why I know that. Then plantain, vegetables,
Okay.
especially deep green vegetables have potassium, and beans. You'll find it. Those are some of the common
Right.
ones. You'll have it. There's another compound called omega-3 fatty acids. I think we've heard of omega-3s. Those reduce inflammation and help lower cholesterol, right? And even though they're oils, these are good oils, right? So you find those in things like mackerel and things like sardines, and to a lesser extent, other fish, fatty fish, or have the highest amounts of omega-3s. Fiber is something that's overlooked, and fiber literally goes through and cleans out cholesterol from your blood vessels. And you can find fiber in beans, whole grains like oats, and vegetables also have lots and lots of fiber. The average plate, and I watch some of my staff, and I watch people outside when they're eating, the average Nigerian plate has almost zero fiber. You will have a big lump of rice. The white rice has almost zero fiber. You put a little stew on top, right? That's tomato stew or so, not much fiber. And then hopefully a piece of meat or something, which is also no non-fibrous. And you go through life like that. Lack of fiber not only can hurt your cholesterol levels, but it's the number one cause of piles or hemorrhoids. And a lot of people think it's sugar intake that causes that. It's not sugar intake, it's a lack of dietary fiber. So eat your vegetables, eat your fruits. I'll give you one more: magnesium. Magnesium helps support your heart and helps your blood vessels relax and even helps you have more regular sleep patterns. So I believe so much in these. I take potassium, omega 3s, magnesium every blessed day. If I show you my box of supplements that I take at least once a day, probably about 10 of them. And I've been doing that for a while and I'm very happy I do.
So, can someone do without the fruit, the healthy foods, and just take the supplements, or should they go in tandem with each other?
They should go in tandem. The best way the way your body prefers to get any of these things is through food. So when I take supplements, I'm eating hopefully a healthy meal. I eat half of the meal. I'll take my supplements, eat the other half of the meal. So I'm just really supplementing my truly
Mhm.
supplementing what's in my diet. But if let's say if you have an apple and an apple has 5 grams of fiber, you eat that apple, your body will probably absorb almost the entire 5 grams. But if you take a tablet that has 5 grams of fiber, your body may only absorb less than half of that. So it's always better to get it through food. If you have a truly proper balanced diet, you may not need supplements, but I just like to be safe.
Okay, well, going back to exercise, strength training. I don't think I've really got into strength training because I'm just like I'm pacing myself, right? But then what I do at home is I get a stick to do the what's it called, the leg raises and the squats. But how important is strength training for women, especially?
Strength training is extremely important because um, not just for your heart health, but also for your weight control.
Okay.
Muscle, the more muscle you have, the higher metabolism is going to be, and the higher
Okay.
metabolism is going to be, you're going to burn more calories just sitting or just going through your day, even without exercise. A person that has a higher fat content is more likely going to want to keep that. The body will want to keep that. The metabolism will be quite slow. The other thing about strength training, it improves your sleep. We were talking about when you're dieting and you're looking at the scale and the scale doesn't move. Sometimes if you're stressed, which is can cause emotional, physical, or poor sleep, you have high levels of something called cortisol, and cortisol tells your body do not burn fat. So you
Mm.
could be eating salads every day, but if you're really, really stressed or you really have poor sleep, you may fall into that category where you're looking at the scale and it's not moving. So muscle strengthening and it's very important. And as a woman gets older, I don't know if you've seen some of these. We see it a lot more in white women, but some of these older women that have the hunchback, where the back starts hunching over. Yeah, that's osteoporosis. So some linked to poor calcium, poor vitamin D. But if you had been doing some even small amount of strength training, muscle pulling on your bone makes your bone stronger, right? So strength training not only affects and improves your muscles, but also improves your bones and your bone density. So there's no way around it. It's really beneficial, and you don't have to do that much. So if somebody's listening now and think, well, I got to go get a gym membership or I got to go find a place, that's not true. You can strengthen your muscles without any weights, just doing body weight chair squats. Stand up from the chair, squat down, let your bone touch the chair, just touch briefly, stand back up again, repeat, 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 repeat. If you can do even 20 to 30 of those a day, you will notice a difference after a week or two. You will notice that your legs feel stronger, your heart is pumping better. It's so many benefits. When I was trying to get into my exercise, a couple months ago, that's what I started with. That's all the motivation I had. I just would do those little squats, and then from there I progressed into a few push-ups, a few sit-ups, and then now I use free weights. But you don't have to. You can do everything in your bedroom. Even.
Hmm. And then how much exercise does a woman need per week to protect her heart, strengthen her heart, etc.
Yeah. So the American Heart Association, I'll quote them, but then I'll tell you quickly. They talk about 150 minutes a week So 150 minutes a week is, 30 minutes,
per day.
30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. If you can do that, fantastic. That's excellent. It shows that those people live longer. They have lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, have sleep better. But effectively, 10 minutes a day
Hmm.
will get you there. So if you know you can't get 30 minutes, do 10 minutes. I have older people, I'll tell them do five. If you can do 5 minutes a day, no problem. I guarantee you that if you do 5 minutes a day for 21 days, you will now want to do more. You'll go
Hmm.
five, you'll go 10, and then you can build your way up slowly to 30. And when we say exercise, exercise can include walking, brisk walking, like trying to walk with pace, dancing. You can dance at home, dance with your kids. We do something Friday night dance party with my kids, and we dance around like silly people in the room, and it's exercise. Of course, cycling, and one of the things I've started doing instead of taking elevators, I'll take the stairs and climbing stairs, just like doing squats, is an excellent form of exercise.
Hmm. Okay. Women who are pregnant or menopausal or have hormonal changes, like, do any of these things affect their heart health, or is just normal for them?
No, this as you get older and your hormones change, especially get into perimenopause or menopause, it definitely can affect your heart level. As your levels of estrogen change, it affects your cholesterol, which affects
Mhm.
your heart, affects your blood vessels, and it lets you know that exercise is even more important to kind of combat those changes. Pregnancy is the same thing. When you're pregnant, your blood volume can increase by up to 50%. The strain on your heart can almost double. So the healthier you are, the easier it is for you, and the easier it is for you to recover afterwards.
Okay. All right, all right. Finally, before we go, Dr. Abiola, are there some common myths that you'd like to correct about heart health today before we go?
Okay, one of them is heart disease, or let's say heart disease affects only elderly women, right? And in reality, risk factors like obesity, high blood pressure are increasingly affecting younger women. When
Hmm.
we talk about heart disease, we start at age 20. So when we look at the statistics, say women above the age of 20, 35% of them in Nigeria have heart disease. So it's not a disease of just elderly people. Another one that is important, chest pain. So another myth is that if there's no chest pain, no heart problem, and that's simply not true. Women
Hmm.
often present atypically, like different from men, and they may have fatigue, breathlessness, or even no symptoms at all. One that I'd like to say that's important in this environment: herbal remedies or herbal concoctions. I have some patients that the man and wife will come. Of course, they came to deal with whatever the man needs to deal with. When I now ask you about oil, no, 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 don't worry about me. I take
My agbo.
my I will, and I'm fine. And there's really no scientific evidence that says that herbs can replace medical prevention strategies. So, we see that. And the final one I'll say is that people that are slim, you know, may think that they
They're
do not
healthy,
have
but
heart
they're
disease.
not.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Normal weight individuals can still have high blood pressure, can still have
Hmm.
high cholesterol, can still have diabetes and heart disease. So the most important thing to do is get yourself checked regularly.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Abiola, for today's free consultation and advice on nutrition and exercise for a healthy heart. We're truly, truly appreciative that you came on today. We love that you come. Dr. Abiola is the MD CEO of RA Specialist Hospital. And if you want to get through to him, you can do that via social media: Facebook, Instagram, RA Specialist Hospital, YouTube, Twitter, RA Hospital. You want to call him 0913-579-5108 or 080-888-626. Yes, those are the numbers to reach Dr. Abiola on. Once again, Dr. Abiola, thank you so much for coming on the show. We
My
truly
pleasure.
appreciate it. And have a great
My
weekend.
pleasure. Same to you. Good. Have a good
Are you
weekend.
having your
Bye.
dance party today?
Yes, definitely.
Maybe I'll copy you, my kids too. All
Please,
right.
please do. Bye for
Have a
now.
lovely, lovely weekend. Radio Doctor on Women Radio is broadcast Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. Remember, Radio Doctor is Nigeria's first specialized radio health program, broadcast Mondays, like I said, through Fridays. Join us on Monday for another edition of Radio Doctor. Many thanks to Aisha Sunny, the producer. Many thanks to Rachel and Benjamin today as well, and to our executive producer, Tomoki Walishanaya. Thank you so much. My name is Femi Bangala. Do have a healthy day. At 11:30 is Climate Care with Rose. You want to stick around for that. Bye for now.